All right, guys, Robbie will be joining us here momentarily. Tonight's attendance, 9,617, 9617, for a gate of $2,488,000. The fight of the night was Matt Hobar and Sergio Pettis. Performance of the night, Anthony Pettis and Josh Sandman, $50,000. Only one transport tonight, that was Eddie Gordon. He was taken for a precautionary head scan. He is already back, clean bill of health. Go to our first question. It's John Morgan from USA Today.
Johnny, let's get your thoughts. Obviously, it was a very close fight tonight. So you haven't had the luxury to go back and watch it yet, but what did you think?
I thought I did pretty good the first three. Fourth round, I started slowing down a little bit. But, you can't take nothing away from Robbie. What did I say the whole time? He's a tough fighter. He's a guy that you got to put away. I wasn't able to do that tonight, and, the judges gave it to him. What can I do except for come back like he did, pick myself up, get that belt back.
It did seem like at one point you kind of resigned yourself to sticking to the wrestling game when the striking was working pretty well for you. Was that strategic or were you tiring? What was going on at that point?
That was a great question. I just felt it, and then whenever I would feel it, I would engage, but then again, I wasn't trying to get him a takedown. You know what I mean? That's sort of not my game. My game is the kickboxing, seems like these days. I was doing really good on the feet, but, like I said, he's a tough guy. I threw a lot of kicks, a lot of knees, a little bit of everything. Just didn't get the win.
And lastly for you, Johnny, what do you think should come next? I mean, it sounds like Rory McDonald is kind of waiting in the wings. They had kind of already tapped him to be there anyway. Do you think it's fair for him to get the next shot, or do you think the right thing to do is put this trilogy together?
That's not my call. You know what I mean? Whatever the UFC wants, that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? That's my management job, and my coaches, if they want the rematch right now, then we'll do the rematch. You know what I mean? I'm perfectly fine with that.
Thank you. Anthony, if I could go to you, please. Obviously, fantastic win for you tonight. It seems like you wanted to send a message. It sounded like you were kind of starting to hear the doubters that you've been out for so long. Was that important to you to kind of silence the critics, and do you feel like you did enough to do that tonight?
Yeah, I feel like I had a great performance. I mean, Gil's a tough guy. I was expecting a war out there, and he delivered. First round was a tough round. I tried to avoid the takedowns as best as possible, but I think once I got to the striking range, I delivered and hit him with some good shots, hit him with some nice jabs. But I think I did enough to prove that I deserve this belt in front of me.
And obviously, you should get to soak it in, enjoy the moment a little bit. But Khabib Nurmagomedov, before you were here, he's already in the press room somewhere telling everybody that'll listen, hey, he's undefeated. He deserves to be next. Obviously, there's a couple big lightweight fights coming up next. What do you think? I mean, he's the undefeated. Is he what you think should be next?
Hey, if they want him next, give him a shot. I'm ready. I'm injury free. I feel good. You saw what I did to Gilbert Melendez. If he's next, let's do it.
Perfect. Thanks.
I just said yeah, man. Does he speak English? I just said yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I said yeah, so if you're ready in May, I'm ready now.
Khabib, last question.
All right. And just one final one, if I could, for Travis. Obviously, congratulations on your win as well. Obviously, tell us how you felt tonight, but I have to ask you, there was a little bit of a conversation going on there right at the end. Can you share us the details of what went back and forth between you and Brendan there?
There's been a little bit of banter going back between our camp and him, and when I get to know somebody like Coach Edmond and know what kind of a coach he is, but not only that, what kind of a man he is, it makes it personal for me. So at the end, that was between him and I, and we'll keep it there. But he came up and he apologized, for saying some of the stuff that he did, and you can only. What do you do from now? So it is what it is, but we're moving forward.
Question for Johnny, right in front of you. From just your post-fight comments that we get, right off the bat in the email, it looked like you were kind of hard on yourself. Was there something specific? Did you just not? Were you not feeling well in there?
I didn't fight. Look at the fourth and fifth round. I just didn't fight. I did really good. Didn't come out the fourth and fifth like I normally do. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm going to be my worst critic. I don't need you guys, to sit there and say, oh, he looked like shit or he looked like this. You know what I mean? That's my job. And that's sort of what it was. You know what I mean? I didn't stay light on my feet like I should have. I sort of done a couple other things to secure my win, but you get lost in the moment, and that happened to me, and I'll be back.
I know you're not an excuses guy, but was there anything about the preparation? Just was it a quick turnaround? You did take this fight. You know, it wasn't supposed to be your date originally.
Nah, hey, no, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take nothing away from Robbie Lawler. Robbie fought good. He deserved to get his hand raised tonight. I just thought I won. You know what I mean? But I didn't do it to the judges. You know what I mean? Sometimes, some reason out here in Vegas, I don't get the win. You know what I mean? I tried to knock him out, but, dude, guy's got a jaw. You know what I mean? I got a jaw. So whenever it comes down to that, you sort of have to leave it to them. And it just wasn't my night.
And then a couple questions for Mr. Duffy. Right in front of you, Todd. Right in front of you. How you doing? Congrats on the win. I mean, it was a familiar result for you. I mean, it's not the first time you come in and knocked a guy out in the first round. Was it, a weird question almost. Would you have almost wanted it to go just a little bit longer, spend some time in the cage after such a long layoff?
I mean, you just want to get the win. The cool thing for me was he hit me with a right hook. We had that second exchange that I remember, and obviously I haven't seen the fight yet, but we had a second exchange. He hit me with a nice tight right hook above the head, and I felt a little blood trickle down. I saw it, and I looked at him, and I saw he had a little blood on his forehead too, and it was exciting to be in I was just like, I'm in a fight. This is all, and it just felt good. I don't even remember the question, sorry. Did I answer it?
No, I mean, I appreciate the response. The question, though, was would you have, in a weird way, wanted the fight to go a little bit longer? Are you pretty happy that
I was happy to get the win. Just get in there and get the job done and get on to the next one.
And getting on to the next one, is that something you want to do pretty quickly? Or are you asking the UFC to get back in
Yeah, of course. I
there?
need to stay busy. I've had a lot of my career taken away, so I definitely want to get back in there and get busy.
Any names come up in your head?
That's not really my style. I definitely want somebody in the top 10, though. Anybody that's trained with me or been around me knows I belong in the top 10, so I need to go out there and prove it now.
Hey, Johnny, right in front of you, a question for you. You referenced the fourth and fifth round, but, in the last 90 seconds or so, it seemed when the fight was on the line, Lawler raised his game and landed a couple kicks and punches to you. You didn't, even in that point, fight with a sense of urgency. It seemed like you fought at the same pace you fought the other rounds for. And I was just curious about that particular part of the fight.
Yeah, because I can't. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit there and get in a bang war with Robbie Lawler. We both have the knockout power, but in my mind, that was the only way he was going to win that fight. You know what I mean? So you stay tight. You don't let anything hit. You keep your eyes open. You move. You're moving. You let the blows glance. And so that's what I was sort of thinking. He's got to knock me out. You know what I mean? To win. So in that sense, I can't sit there and go, okay, let's bite down the mouthpiece. Now, if I'd have really thought that we had to win that round, then yes, that's a totally different story. But it's a numbers game, and I fell short on those numbers tonight.
Did you feel you performed better tonight or at the other fight? I mean,
definitely tonight. Definitely tonight. Just not the fourth and fifth round. Like I said, came out, just didn't do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things to be said here. First off and foremost, I need to say that I feel blessed. You know what I mean? Good Lord blessed me with a great wife, great kids, and the fight tonight made me learn a lot about myself, a lot about what I need to do, and what I need to correct in my camp, and a lot revolves around walking around at 215. We're going to try to I'm going to make that decision. I'm going to work with Mike Dolce, stay around 195, you know what I mean? Do everything right, because I had that belt, and I want it back. And I love food too, don't get me wrong. And that's going to be a tough decision, but you know what I mean? I love that belt more than food.
Thanks, Johnny. For the California kid. Uriah, when they showed you on the screen before you came out, every time you were on, you got a big pop and everything, and then one of the few times in your career, after the fight was over, all of a sudden the crowd was booing you. I mean, did you feel they were booing you, or was it the circumstance, or what was it?
I'm a real optimist, so I would think it was the circumstance. I was not happy about that in my own opinion. I watched the replay and I did get him in the eye. So, I've been someone that sees a little bit of weakness and is able to finish. That's how I've gotten to the point where I am, and just went on my instincts and got the finish. So yeah, I think it was more the situation.
And what is, do you look back on it and think, you should have, I guess you didn't know you did it. So I was going to say, if you know you did it, do you back off because you poked him, or do you wait until the referee says, go?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have to understand when you're in a fight situation, but this is my 12th year as a professional fighter, and however many thousands of hours of training, etc. And it's a very, very instinctual time in there. It's not like I'm like, oh, now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and you're thinking things out. This is an action-reaction sport, and when you're in it as long as I am, and you've done the training over and over again, you react. And so, I don't remember fights for the most part until after I go back and watch them, and I don't remember thinking, oh, I got him in the eye or anything like that. I just thought, I'm going to get another finish now, and that's what I did. So,
one more for you, then I want to ask Rob a question. Phil Brooks was up here, CM Punk, and he talked about his coming into the UFC. You being a guy that's really good at marketing and everything, do you resent a guy coming in like that, or do you feel it's good for the sport to bring a person of his stature, and he's obviously going to sell pay-per-views and do that? I mean, what's your take?
First off, I'm a big fan of his, and I think a lot of this fight game, and again, a lot of the fighters understand this, is so much mental. So if this guy believes that he can get in here and fight, and he's willing to put in some work, who's to tell him he's not the baddest dude on the planet? We'll see. I've had a lot of younger fighters that are on my team that go out and have gotten losses and have been felt embarrassed, and this is the most exposed you'll ever be in any sport. You're going to fight a one-on-one fight in front of millions of people. So props to the guy for wanting to put his best foot forward, and we'll see. Maybe he's going to be the champ.
Thanks, Uriah. Robbie, for you, first of all, congratulations. It was a great performance. Did you think you did enough to win when the fight was over? Did you believe you were going to get it?
I did this time. Johnny's a hell of a fighter. He's tough as hell, and what a fight! What a fight! I feel like I finished strong. I feel like I won the fourth and the fifth, and it was a close fight, man. When you have two guys who are tough as hell going in there and both stingy, sometimes you get fights like that. That's not how I thought the fight was going to go, and maybe we'll do it again sometime.
I saw Pat came over to your corner at second or third round and was yelling at you, let your hands go and everything. And it seemed like, at least maybe in that last 90 seconds, you really did that. And I was wondering, kind of was that something that they were in your ear about a lot? Let your hands go, get rolling? Yeah,
my coaches just wanted me to go out there and finish strong and do what I do in the gym. And I was able to do that. Johnny's a very resilient fighter, and he did a great job tonight.
And then last question for you, and I'll pass this along. What's your take being the UFC champion through everything you've been through, and you've been through as much as anybody in the sport, to have that belt up there now and hear Bruce Buffer call you the champion? What does it mean to you?
It means a lot, but it means a lot to me because of all the people around me. This wasn't just me out there. There was a lot of time and effort from a lot of people around me that helped me to get where I am today, and it's their victory too.
Hey there, Anthony. This is Nathan from Wheaties. I'm here in the back. Just had two questions for you. So with the Wheaties competition and your win tonight, you've shown that you're a champion. So I'm just curious, how do you maintain that champion spirit consistently time and time again?
Man, last year was a long year for me, man. 15 months off was a long time, and the Wheaties contest was going on. I had my fight coming up, so there was a lot of pressure on me for this fight, and I just feel like I just locked in on training, and I just fell in love with the sport again, and I believed in myself, and I performed again to the best of my ability.
And along the way, you had a lot of people that were doubting, what was going to happen, and you really showed up tonight. Do you have any lessons that you could share with people about how to respond when people don't believe in you?
The best way is to prove them wrong. I mean, you can't really. For me, I was injured, so I couldn't really prove myself or fight. So I had to be quiet and just let them talk. And tonight I got to prove everybody wrong. So I think my coach says it the best. The best revenge is massive success, and that's what I'm looking forward to do.
And lastly, both you and your brother won tonight. Can you take us backstage a little bit with you and your family? How describe that?
I haven't seen him yet. Well, I've seen him for a little. He was in my corner. I haven't seen my family, though. I haven't seen my mom. I haven't seen my other brother. But it's a big night for the Pettis bros, man. We both got bonuses. Great performances for both of us. We're gonna enjoy the night and then get back in the gym next week.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Adam.
Robbie, for you, the last time the fight was somewhat similar in the sense that it was close all the way to the end, and he kind of stole it in the end of the fight, in the first fight. Was that going through your mind at all as you got into the 5th round, that this was the same thing? It was kind of close, and
yeah, I think it was just go out there and try to finish him, and just try to do everything you can, leave it all in the cage, and that's what I went out there and did. I was able to stuff a couple takedowns and beat him up a little bit, and he's tough.
A question for Gilbert Melendez. Gil, it looked like up until the finish that you were having some success pressing Anthony against the cage. Obviously, you want to neutralize his kicking game, but having to eat a few shots on the way in to do it. Was that part of the strategy? Did you have it in your mind that you were probably going to have to be eating a few shots to get in close like that?
Yeah, I was trying to pressure a little bit. Got a little sloppy and a little too anxiety in there. But yeah, I wanted to pressure Anthony. I didn't want him to set. And even when I didn't pressure, I could see the look in his eye like he was going to come. So I was like, I just better walk forward and try to trade a little bit with the punches. But, yeah, that was my intentions. I got a little sloppy out there, but it was a learning experience, and I think I would do some things differently and just look to grow as a fighter from that.
Question for Travis Brown. Travis, you've spoken highly of bringing in your new coach, Edmund Taverdian. He said earlier in the week that he had seen some things in your game that he wanted to shore up. Can you kind of elaborate in terms of what you guys were able to tweak together and how those improvements manifested themselves tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we worked on my stance. We worked on my distance. Worked on letting my hands go, which I didn't do in the beginning of the fight, which I'm disappointed in. But we everything. He's teaching me. He's really teaching me the art of fighting in that sense. Not just showing me how to knock somebody out kind of a thing. And again, I know how the media likes to twist things, and I'm not knocking Jackson and Winklejohn because they're amazing coaches, but I'm able to learn from this man, and it's really made a difference, and I look forward to really showcasing my skills in my next fight. I did an okay job this fight, but my next one's going to be even that much better.
When you were asked earlier about the animosity with Brendan Schaub, you referenced the kind of man that Edmund Taverdian is as well. And, Ronda Rousey has shown that similar type of loyalty with him. She goes back much further than you. But can you elaborate on that and tell us what you mean by, a level of personal respect that you've developed with him?
Yeah, and unfortunately we live in a day and age that there's a lot of shady-ass people out there, and people that love to live in the gray area in life. And Edmund is a very black and white kind of person where, if you do something you're not supposed to, he will tell you that you did something that you weren't supposed to, or the opposite. If you did something good, he'd be like, good job, and it's very refreshing to be around a man like that.
We'll go to Dan and then John. Go ahead, Dan.
Robbie, a lot of the talk going into this fight was that Rory McDonald would be getting the winner. There's going to be people calling for sort of a trilogy here. What are your thoughts on what's next?
I can't wait to get back home to my family. It's been a long year. I mean, I've been on the grind, camp to camp, just striving to be champion, get back to this moment, get better every day. And I would just like to take some time off, let Dana White, Joe Silva decide those kind of things, and just go home and be a family man for a couple weeks.
And then Travis, obviously Kane and Fabricio are sort of expected to be fighting each other next. You're right there for a title shot. Are you looking at the Dos Santos fight on the 13th and thinking that the winner of that might be something for you?
Yeah, I mean, possibly, but as you saw tonight, there's again, I'm not a big fan of the rankings because I'm ranked third, but I hate being ranked third because to me, I'm just the third loser in a sport that has one champion. You know what I mean? But or one heavyweight champion. Sorry, but It just kind of depends. You know, the heavyweight division, because the interim belt and Kane being hurt, is kind of just, you know, kind of shifty a little bit. So anybody can go in and fight anybody any given time. You know, if the champ is not able to make it in June, then who's Verdum going to fight? You know what I mean? I don't mind that rematch. Please give me that fight back, especially if it's for the belt. I would love it.
But if those two are fighting in June, I can't imagine you wanting to wait, spend that much time.
No, I'm not I don't, you know, I fight for a living, and, you know, I want to go out there and scrap a little bit. You know, I'm not trying to just sit on the couch for a year. You know, I want to go out there and earn some money. I have bills to pay.
For Tony, please. Obviously, not an easy fight for you by any stretch tonight. Big win. Talk about, you know, kind of the opening round. You know, how in trouble you really were there, and how you felt things were playing out.
Did you like the fight?
I did.
Yeah, it was pretty cool too. It was a fun fight for me. You know, there's a lot of animosity. Him trying to get in my head before the fight. Just try to keep my head cool. You know, my hands were down in the fight. I realized that. I saw the footwork. Reminded me of the fight with Michael Johnson. Just remain calm, you know. Just next time, just not going to have to use my face for a hand mitt.
And I read your quote that you gave afterwards. I mean, you had said coming into this fight that you felt he was a pretty respectful guy and that, you know, there wasn't too much going on. But you said that he pissed you off going into the second round, and that sort of changed things. What happened that pissed you off?
I saw his stamina go down, and I just I weathered the storm in the first part, and I just looked at his eyes, and he wanted to quit. You know, he was holding on to my shorts in there. He was holding on to the cage, and I just saw that as like a thing that he didn't want to fight no more. So I just weathered the storm. Just remember what Brock told me. You know, he's just he's gonna blow his wad in there. You know, and exactly what he did. I just caught him. You know, it was a matter of time before he was gonna get caught. I had a couple finishes that I was gonna take. Didn't work. I didn't go for the marks like I usually do for my back. I'm glad we didn't practice it. Our transitions were there. Took his back.
And up to this point, you've kind of been a guy that says, hey, man, I'll take whatever challenges the UFC puts in front of me. But I think you're 7-1 now in the UFC. I mean, that's the type of position where people can start asking for things and calling things out. So, I mean, what do you see as the right next move for you?
Top 10. Don't sleep on me. Hey, Ant, keep that belt warm, bro. I'm coming for it. And you, Khabib, too. We'll see you, too. But I have no animosity towards these guys. We all fight. My skill level is getting better. Do not forget about me. El Kukui. I will haunt your dreams.
We'll take one more. I think we have one in the back there. Amber, go ahead.
For Gilbert Melendez, this is your first loss by submission. What is that like?
Sucks. You know, it sucks, you know. But, yeah, I didn't want to get tapped out, you know. But I think it was just it was just so much chaos right there, and he just synced it in good. So, sucks getting finished, man. But Anthony's good. But, you know, again, just keep learning from this and try to remain a student in the sport.
All right, guys. Thank you for your attendance today. We'll see you Friday for the crowning of the first ever women's strawweight champion.